Àjànàkú kọjá mo rí kan fìrí bàbá rẹ́rìn ká mọ̀ pa rẹ́rìn Jagaba TV.
Welcome to another episode of your TV show, State Affairs. I am Olaifa Bukola, and today I have with me Comrade Sonda Laoye, a socialist.
Yeah.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time.
Yeah.
What effect do you think current economic policy is having in Nigeria? Can we really say Nigeria is enjoying the fruit of the regulation of oil and gas section?
Not much.
Okay.
Because generally, well, as a socialist, I will abide with state ownership of all these things.
Yes, sir.
But given the fact that Nigeria is a capitalist country, a backward capitalist country for that matter, our ruling class are not been very up to it. As you get read from some media and by other activists, Nigeria should not be importing oil. We should produce every oil at home.
Yes, sir.
And it's been shown during Nigeria Biafra War. The Igbos all the fuel they used to fight the war, they produce it, in the eastern part of Nigeria. And Nigeria have a lot of very well qualified, experienced technocrats now. We should not be exporting oil. But see, given the dynamics of running a capitalist economy, the foreign powers that control and use much of this in their factories abroad, they will tie the hand of your nation that no, except you export certain quantity, they will not give you, certain foreign exchange or allow you to have certain factories. There's this international politics of a negative kind. But if you have a strong leadership, very patriotic, very nationalistic, they will say, no, we are going to process everything ourselves. And that's what you have in the Southeast Asian countries and even India. They beat their chest and say any products they produce in Europe and America, they too, they must be able to do it. And it has served their nation. It has helped them to gain more independence economically, prioritize their economy, retain more of the wealth. But our ruling class, they are mostly part of Africa, they are what we call dependent capitalists. Rather than fighting for the good of their nation and for the interest of the future generations, they are after their immediate gains. And in that process, they give you second-rate, third-rate technologies which break down. That's the problem, part of our problem with our refineries, because they know you are so dependent on them. And if you want to strike a national thing there, then you must develop your universities and research institutes and polytechnics, and look at the very low allocation of funds to the education sector. See, we really need much more vibrant, well-read, anti-imperialist politicians as our leaders. And they are sending us down the drain every decade. The situation is worsening. You have gas, you have petrol, you say you should come and export it abroad and return it to you. Why? Because of their own selfish gains. And the nation and you, the youths, you are going to suffer more and more for this. Except now, Dangote and a few others, they are now saying they want to, which is good. But then, you can be sure they may not have the latest technology. They may not have it, because international politics and technology, there are a lot of politics. If they give us the latest technology, then you won't be importing a lot from their countries. And they are not in Africa for charity. They are in Africa for profit. Everything starts with your political leadership. It is them who dictate. Your technocrats could have done a lot of committee work and this and that. If you have some self-serving, semi-ignorant position, they will turn. There are a lot of expert studies that have been turned, and they don't have world experience that much. Really, it's a problem, because when you, the technocrats, have done a lot of brain work, make it globally competitive, but you have the final decision makers who don't prioritize this, and the more reason the youth should read more radical books and come more into politics. Unfortunately, you don't have the millions. Because to be a councillor in Nigeria now, you have to be a millionaire. It's pathetic, and it should stop. And it takes vibrant struggle of the youths. It wasn't like this in the 60s and 70s. And we socialists were regretting a lot that radical literature that built us, they are no longer available. And it's a great problem for Africa. But they are happy. The imperialists are happy that, yes, the leader of this part of the world, it's true. This is painful. And there's no shortcut to it. But we have the brains. We have a lot of Nigerians doing this brain drain and everything. They do a lot of fantastic. There are a lot of the multinationals in Europe and America. As you know, nothing is wrong with our brain. It's the capitalist system we are running. And worse still, the bad set of capitalists. I've shown you that the Indian, Brazilian, South Korean, capitalists and industrialists, they say, yes, we shall remain capitalists, but nearly everything produced in Europe and America, we too want to be producing. You take India. India had independence in 1949. We had independence in 1960. Comfortably now, India is a middle-level world power. Because they don't import much. They build their own aeroplane, their own ships, their own train, and pharmaceuticals. See, the brain power behind Glo is Indian. This Glo something, I didn't get it. It's Indian. Now tell me which Nigeria, even capitalists has an independent, technological power to produce. And we must stop it. It's worsening. Nigeria, Africa is going under a second-rate stage of colonialism, where you import nearly everything. Rather than striking and say, no, we must stop it. But if you want to stop it in the real sense, you must be socialist oriented. Because when you do it, the G8 countries, you know what's called G8 countries, the real powerful Euro-American countries, they will see what they did in Zimbabwe. They will impose a lot of sanctions from you and other things like that. And that's what they did for Nkrumah and others who want to show us the way out. But this is your country. You must struggle to liberate your country, your continent.
All right, sir. What's your advice to the federal government in making life better for the citizens of Nigeria?
It's a non-starter for a socialist. It's to discontinue capitalism. Let me do one secret given to you by one of the leading African political economists, late Professor Badi Nimode. More than 80% of economic ownership of third world and Nigerian economy belongs to the G8 countries. Automatically, more than 80% of profit, the labor of Nigerian workers, Ghanaian workers, African workers, flows back to Europe and Japan and Canada and France and Britain every year. Those who own us, to show you that there is no way out. Now you are left with 20%. Dangote and our other progressive industrialists, they have about 10%. It's starting pharmaceuticals, it's the Modula, but they don't control more than 10%. It is only the remaining 10% that all the national governments of any African countries own for their people. Now, what can you do with 10%? You can't make their life better. You can't be tops in technology and sciences. You understand? You can't modernize so much of your infrastructure. You cannot but get indebted. We are regretting now. See, you can see the real focus of our own political, rather than liberating that 80%. I should not be going out of Africa again. Imagine if your pocket is leaking 80%. Can you retain anything? They say, no, you should go and borrow, and borrow, and borrow, and borrow. And what do they put all this money you are borrowing? Infrastructures. It's true, infrastructure, you need the railways, but to make the multinationals, be able to get more profit out of your country. Rather, you should have been stressing industries. It's very pathetic. When you say you have recession, to get out of infrastructure and agric. Agric should not be the priority. It is industrialization. It is from those you get machines, tractors, this and this and this and this, to modernize your agric, to process your agric, rather than the other way. But because we have politicians and self-serving capitalist-oriented politicians and self-serving, capitalist technocrats, all our technocrats are using their training in Europe and America, and they don't support anything than capitalism. It's pathetic. Except we correct it, we are going to a second, and it's already happening. And that's the task of socialists. And I praise the media like you like this. Many of us in radio, television, they won't invite with the radical, Nigerians. Yes, but that's the correct thing, and that's what India and China did. I tell you, the India, which is second world power now, they only changed to socialism in 1949, which is just mere 11 years before Nigerian independence. But because China blocked that 80%, say no, we are not going to allow any foreign. It is that they used to modernize their universities, polytechnic research institutes, and prioritize their economy. And without free education, free medicalization, they wipe out unemployment, they increase their science and technology. China is rivaling USA now, just mere 11 years difference to Nigeria. So without blocking that 80%, that is, without switching from capitalism to socialism, Africa, we are not going nowhere in the world. We shall remain cheap sources, of profit for all this. Although it's a pity now as a socialist, China too has joined them, but because you beg them. China didn't force you to take loan from him. It is Nigeria who says, give us this, and they lay some terrible conditions. But if you are returned that 80%, you are not in need to borrow. But our selfish, greedy leaders, because of their own private gains and other things, they say, no, capitalism is not the way. We are going to suffer more and more. I really pity you, the youth. It's going to worsen. Unemployment is going to worsen. Your currency is going to get more and more. What's the exchange rate of naira to dollar now?
I think it's around 4.
It's shameful, and it's going to worsen. Even the petrol you produce, you don't use it. There are no industries to use it in your country. You have to export them abroad, and they dictate the prices and a lot of other commodities.
All right, sir.
I don't see any much. I really hope, I pray, and we pray since all these governments in the 1960s, but you can see they have not taken us so much. Capitalism is the main enemy, not even corruption. Anybody who tells you corruption is the Nigerian problem is a blatant liar. Number one problem is irregular exploitation. That is, employers be able to exploit the labor of their own workers, those from level 1 to level 17. So long as you are not the owner of your workplace, you are a worker. You understand? So a lot of harm being done by us retaining this system which the British brought to us.
All right, sir.
It may be it's difficult. It's very difficult, but that's the only way out.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Now, what is your opinion on cross-carpeting in Nigeria politics?
It's both yes and no. When you belong to any group, when you have in any group, you are free to say you are no longer part of that group, if it's allowed in the constitution of that party. You see, but parties of most of the constitution is constitution of convenience by all these parties. And unfortunately, INEC may not have strong penalties for this. So we have to study the constitution of both PDP and APC where much of these things occurring. You see, even there are some constitutions that bans independent candidacy and things like that, but it's too much of it is too much in Nigeria. It's for serving selfish end. You can disagree ideologically. You know what I'm saying? If APC is capitalist oriented, if PDP, don't let me even mention any name, if one party is capitalism, if one party is socialist, that's ideological difference. Whereas one party will say, no, we are not granting free education, another one will say, yes, we must grant free. Whereas one party will say, we allow private ownership, another party will say, we don't allow it. Socialists, they don't allow it. If they have been crossing on that basis, it's something different. But PDP and APC are the same capitalist parties. Regrettably, yes. I'm not saying everything is bad under capitalism. After all, the leading capitalist countries in the world, technologically, wealth, everything, they are advanced. They are from Europe and America. The pity is that we don't have advanced capitalism, and we cannot have it the way we are going in Africa and any part of the third world. So the drama going on, as in any state, Ondo and Ekiti are not the first to be cross-calculated. It's been even since 1960s. But most of it is for serving selfish ends. See, it's for serving selfish ends, and they have their reasons.
All right, sir. What can be done to ensure credible candidates emerge as governor in Edo State?
Why limit to Edo State?
Because that's the next election.
What do you mean credible?
Like someone that wants the seats.
You, the electrician, and the electorate, what competence have you to say this person? There are a lot of things wrong. If you want to judge me as bad, it means you must have superior knowledge. Yes. Now, with the literacy going on, with most of Nigeria not interested in public opinion, these are facts. You understand? With many of these parties not being very transparent in their transactions. Where the data they lay before Nigerian people? Credible ones. So if you know somebody, it's not because he donated borehole to your constituency or gives you free access bills or this and that. That's not. It goes beyond that. How credible is their party itself? I've just given some analysis in the last 7 a party leadership that opens their eyes when your profits is being flowing out of Africa and Nigeria every year. How much can they now promise you standard education, modern hospital, modern roads, full employment? That's why all of them have been failing since 1960s. They don't know Nigeria itself is under semi-slavery of the Euro-American capitalism. So in time I sọ pé àwọn olóṣèlú pé onírọ́ ni wọ́n. Onírọ́ ni because you are only using 10% to develop us. So none of them is credible. None of this since I'm not living into HD and PD since 1960s. And what much progress do you see in Nigeria and Africa? Poverty continues, low technological power, poor industrialization. Even your agricultural products, you cannot process much of them with advanced machines. These are really tragic and really. So they are semi-credible. The governor can now say he's going to grant free education. When he gets there, he finds that the funds are not there. Or they distribute only a textbook and say that is free textbook. You can see they want to do it, but the political economy of this 80-10-10 ratio, I didn't work it out. It was my professor Onimande, the largest political economy. When you say somebody is econometrician, an economist who was also expert in statistics and mathematics, and know really what is going on. And we see it's not even a matter of mathematics or arithmetic. Look around us. Who are the owners of the big industries in Nigeria? Are they Nigerians? They are foreigners. And they've taken 80% off. So how much of advanced universities, polytechnic research institutes, modern education, full employment, strong currency can you have?
Okay, sir. How can we prevent ballot box snatching and electoral violence in Nigeria?
Yes, it's three-pronged. Firstly, you have a set of politicians who is winner takes all, number one, and who that are also do or die. They don't mean the same thing, no. A winner takes all is the party, although that is general around the world, that when your party is in power, you have a right to control all the appointments and board this and board that. You know, the opposition has lost out. But in some countries, they share it. Then the do die is those who are ready to do a lot of illegal actions because they know where they are getting there. They get contracts, they get commission. You have seen what is being exposed in NDDC now and all over. See, greedy ones, selfish ones. So they do, and then INEC too is a lazy outfit, very inefficient. How much do they monitor the party secretariats? How much? They don't go around. They don't go around. Even the constituency projects and other things which all these legislators have forced some to give them. How much of, how many meetings do they conduct? The laxity of INEC is there a lot too. And then the national orientation movement too. But if I offend, and I know that within 5 or 6 months the case will be decided, I will think twice before I commit that crime. See, the drags too long. Then investigation of the police is neither here or there. There are times you don't have sufficient magistrates and judges in your court. Understand? The technology in the court too is backward. All this handwriting thing. Abroad is now computerized. I mean, quite a lot. I'm not saying progress is not being made here and there, but we should have grown faster. But first and foremost is the orientation of your politicians. They don't even educate them about how capitalism came to be. See, the better behavior conduct of Euro-American politicians is not by fun, no. And even with the media, you are helping the process because by having programs like this, some of them will be doing rethinking, and passing it to next generation. But then it must be supported by the party leaders themselves. I want to see a situation where once you are nominated as a candidate, NOM, National Orientation Movement, they will say all candidates of all the parties come for 1 week workshop. This is the path which Britain took. This is the path France took. This is the path. You can see the more reason why you have to respect rule of law. You have to let your party's ideology be known to the public. You have to do this. You have to do that. Those nuances are there. To be a politician in Nigeria now, I only need money and time and money to hire thugs. I will win the candidacy of the party. Nothing in my head, though. So when we are now making, they only teach you process of how the stages of passing bills in the legislature and other thing. They don't tell you generally what and you need it. Because a set of politicians who know that rule of law must not be infringed, they make sure that it's not infringed. Politicians already have the moral, equipment that citizens must be given a right to free expression. They now set police after the demonstrators and other things to beat them. And, all these things are happening. But if they're already, ideologically, they will not do it. And the police commander knows that the politicians are not going to tolerate nonsense, brutalization of Nigerian citizens. They won't. What it takes to do demonstration is that once you inform the police and you are peaceful, you have a right. This is your country. Now, you now do demonstration in some parts of African countries, you get arrested, you get battened, you get abroad with all this Black Lives Matter thing, which is going on, still in America. What do they use? Water, cannons and bullets, not the real life bullets. And this isn't right to protest, but you must inform the police probably 24 hours ahead. See, that's all.
What are your recommendations for federal government to curb insecurity in northern states of the country, Kaduna, Boko Haram, Katsina, Kaduna, Borno, and Benue?
Firstly, our literacy counts against us, number one. Secondly, poverty counts against us. Number three, the greed of our ruling class and display of this group, it really incites you, the youth. So, why do you have to be so much studious, to be so much hardworking when I too can be involved in running? And then unemployment is a major cause. And it's a pity. It's a great pity. An employer you will take any offer by people to disrupt the system. And of course, you are always talking that your military police are not having the latest technology. Understand? And victimization is there. I won't deny it. Where one ethnic groups, denies one another ethnic groups of their due shares as per the Constitution. It's an avenue for a lot of, See, and then we have to appeal to the Christian and Muslim affairs. See, they have been doing a lot of work every day with their everyday attendance and mosque and this and that, but they should do more. But no matter how much the Muslim and Christian clerics are doing, if the political leaders are not, offering good examples, see, and then there are a lot of foreign incursions in Nigeria too, which the federal government should have stopped and should still stop. And this local policing, as they say, is very important. Between 1952 and 1966, we used to have local police in Nigeria. Why should the federal government be involved in that? When you are practicing federalism, you take America, the home of federalism. Every state has a local government. And every local government has a police. Well equipped, although they can use it sometimes to terrorize and this and that, it's a local government state matter. And that's why the agitation for true federalism should happen. And I told you the point of Nigerian history. Between 1952 and 1966, there was every region had its own police, with uniform different from Nigerian police. You see? So a lot of cross-band and people who alleged probably that the police or even the political leaders are running now with all these espionage, and I too support that position. It should stop. See? But above all, make life better for Nigerian people. Make life better for Nigerian people. There's too much poverty. Too much poverty. That's part of what I see too. All the time you have to equip your army, no doubt, no this, no. But and there has to be compromises here and there, but not to the point of compromising with Boko Haram. People killed another citizen. Say you are granting them clemency and other things like that. It's totally wrong. What of the person whose family had been injured? What is the reparation for them? It's unjust. It's unnatural. It shouldn't happen. And let's hope it will stop. And then there's nothing stopping you now for compromise. To hold peace. After all, in any war, you will still have to end up at the negotiating table. So as the Boko Haram, they are genuine grievances. Although some of their grievances is not genuine. You want to Islamize the people. Why? Why should you say Nigerians should all of them should become Muslims? Why? There's constitutional guarantee in Constitution for freedom of religion and expression. So with that, you can't compromise. But if there are some other agitations, like underdevelopment of our area, like denying us of our projects, like discriminating against, yes, you have to sit down. That's still possible. After I'll take the problem in Niger Delta during Jonathan and other places. At a point in time, they have to call the Egbesu boys and those and say, what are your problems? We don't have jobs, we don't have scholarship, the all companies don't give us jobs and contracts, and they started to settle down. They even gave a lot of the Egbesu boys scholarship to go and study abroad, and you see the agitation has subsided. But it's still don't know, because many of the petrol companies, they are not building infrastructures for the people. From where you take the oil? Similarly, in the Northeast, they can ask them, what are your real grievances? Unemployment is a key thing, poverty is a key thing. Police brutalization sometimes is a key thing, but it has to end at a peace table. And I wish the government better luck, but they don't seem to. And you know, in the situation we say buy arms, some very corrupt senior officers, they turn the money into their own pocket. Take care of the IDPs. Even some of the officers steal some of the donated items from abroad, from Europe and America, to help this thing. And Buhari should be much and often in terms of any officer caught corrupt. And then the court case, you know, I refer to it sometimes. Part of what stands corruption in Nigeria and is that the process of justice is too long. It's far too long.
All right, thank you so much, sir.
Right.
Thank you for giving that.
And I thank your media for allowing this type of, you know, all these discordant views. You know, many on progressive position, they won't like this type of really radical truth, but that is the truth.
Thank you for watching today's episode of State Affairs. I am Olaifa Bukola. See you next time. Bye for now.
Àjànàkú kọjá mo rí kọfìrí bá a bá rẹ́rìn ká mọ̀ pa á rẹ́rìn Jàdàbá TV ó.